answer one. Kevin O'Leary is a true supporter and believer of the brand, right?
Did he pay for that watch you gave him?
One was a gift. Yeah, one was a gift because we wanted to give him something special. He loves the brand, he loves us, and I wanted to create something special for him.
So you can't do a video call?
No, I don't. I'm not at the moment. No.
Okay. Well, I don't really know how to start this. All I want to know is, from my point of view, if you can help the group I represent.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of miscommunication out there, and I guess it was wrong of me not to be more communicative. I've been trying to raise funds for like 4 months or more, actually probably over a year and a bit now. And funny enough, Ryan was the man who was leading that. So he brought investors to us, and only now recently when I found all this stuff out, I had to, let him go immediately. So now as I'm going through all of the details and I'm just trying to piece the whole puzzle together, it's been very difficult to, and I can't, look, there's obviously things that I can't say publicly and things that I have to say in a professional manner, right, within the law. There's my assumptions of the situation as well, but in terms of the facts, the email that was sent out this morning or today was all factual. It was all based on fact. There's nothing of nothing of any allegations that aren't proven. These are all facts. So It's just taking me time to piece the whole picture together. So I don't want to say too much, even to you, but a lot of the investment was also held up in what I feel is suspicious. So now I'm trying to piece the whole puzzle together and try to get everything sorted out. I've looked at a couple of your videos. To be honest, I didn't see the other one. I saw that you did another one before, but I've been focused on trying to get the funds going, cleaning up the whole company, getting everything in order. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and I'm happy to talk, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of things to solve. And my intention isn't to mislead anyone or to cause any problems. We've just had a whole series of bad luck hit all at the same time over the last couple of years. So, if you look at on the flip side, we've delivered a lot of pieces. We've got a lot of amazing customers, a lot of people happy as well. So unfortunately, you're just dealing with the negative side and the issues that we're trying to work through at the moment.
So I'm very single-minded. I would take every video down on Aventi if the 11 people that I represent got a refund.
So when you say you represent, in what capacity do you represent them?
I have a group of individuals who are all verified buyers of your watch. They all love the brand, but several of them want their money back and several of them are waiting for refunds.
Yeah, I understand that. When you say you have, what do you mean by that?
I have 11 people in a group, right, that all have been verified by me that have purchased a watch from Aventi, have not received a watch. And I have one who I'm particularly upset about. I'm very upset about this one, Hannu. This guy was contacted by Ryan and asked to pay the second payment. And after he paid the second payment, he was then cut off. I use the word ghosted. Maybe that's not the right term. Now, he's known to you and Ryan, and he's met Ryan, and he's an absolute solid bloke. I won't say his name, but he's a rugby player, and you must know him because he's a mini celebrity in the rugby world and lived in Australia, right? And I am so sorry for this guy because this is the second time he's had an issue with a watch. He had another watch problem with another company. So this is twice now he's down, and he's down $25,000. But what annoys me, it's not the fact that people paid for the watch 2 years ago, right? If you got me to give you 15 grand 2 years ago and I was willing to wait for the watch, that's down to me. What really peeves me off is the fact that Ryan reached out to this guy and said, hey, your watch is ready, buddy. right? Just pay the final payment, and voila. And so Ryan knowingly took the money.
Yeah.
No, watch. To me, that's why you've got an angry Irishman on your hands, right? And the first interview I did, I don't know if you watched the first interview with Mr. C. He asked for a refund in February, and he was told 30 days, and then he was ghosted. But I'm upset for him, but I'm really annoyed about the other guy. And you know the guy I'm talking about, the rugby player, right?
Yeah. I'm not hiding at all. I'm not, not taking responsibility. I'm here on my emails all day, all night. I'm working to, with investors. Can you imagine that someone on the team has, and I'm getting emails now as I talk to you, I'm getting screenshots from people. Hey, I paid Ryan, I gave Ryan my old watch to sell for me.
Yes.
And I'm like reading this shit, and I'm like, I've told Ryan he is absolutely not allowed to, that is not at all. Anyone on the team is allowed to do that, period. You can't trade between clients. I have stacks of evidence sitting here in front of me.
But do you know that Ryan is active?
$50,000 transfer to his account, and I'm thinking, what the fuck has he done this whole time? And I trusted him. He was like one of my best friends. I hired him he worked for another company that I had. S-Force watches, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he was a partnership manager there. And I said, no one believed in Aventi in the beginning because it was a Kickstarter. It was a crazy idea that I had. No one believed in it. And then I said, okay, let's try this. Let's put this together. And I got him part of it. And the truth is, even from the beginning, there were moments where the whole team was just frustrated in dealing with incompetency. Like, we would ask him to do things, he would do half, not do other things. And I should have known from that beginning.
Yeah.
But, it's 100% my fault, my responsibility that this situation is what it is now. I've made mistakes and I feel horrible. I can't sleep at night. I feel terrible. If you know me, you know how I've brought up as a kid. My parents were very strict. I've always to be polite and good to people. And if anyone talks to you about me that truly knows me, I put everyone in front of me. Ryan doesn't tell you about the stories that I gave him, watches and things like that. The story about the Patek Philippe, that was a piece I bought for myself. My other companies have done well. Right now, I have no income. I have no assets. I've lost everything trying to save Aventi, paying refunds out of my pocket. I used to have AP.
Please tell me.
Right,
who have you refunded? Who have you refunded? Because I've got people that are owed refunds for 4 or 5 months.
I've got a list. I can get it out.
And I need to tell you this. I need to tell you this, and you should never interrupt somebody, but I've got to do it, right?
Sure.
Ryan is actively talking to your customers, and he has told a customer that there are, and I've forgotten the exact figure, so don't quote this, 147 watches outstanding owed to customers, which I call it 2 million because I just times it by 10 grand. So 147 watches that are paid for, and I've put them down as 10 grand each, which is way below what they'll cost. That's £2 million. But he's actively talking to your customers, and even though you fired him, he is talking to your customers and he is telling them all this stuff. Does that make sense? So he's telling your customers that, hey guys, he said there's 147 watches not being supplied. You may have fired Ryan, but he is actively
defaming us.
So does he know he's fired? And can I give you some other advice? If you're going to fire Ryan, why would you publicly put out the statement if you haven't got backing yet? Because who's going to back you now, Hannu? Who's going to give you some money? Who's going to back you?
Yeah. Look, I've got two offers that I'm clearing on the table, and both of them won't be affected by Ryan. In fact, one offer is reinforced by Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something that no one else will tell you, is that one of those investors actively investigated Ryan and presented me with a lot of information. He gave me the name of a watch dealer in Mexico that Ryan was providing watches on consignment for.
Okay.
He was contacting all clients. So he was doing his due diligence in the investment. And he found out that even in the 2 weeks that he'd been involved with the investment process, that Ryan had over $200,000 worth of stock on hand. Even up to date, right now, today, I gave Ryan a chance to redeem himself last week, 1 week ago, when I did let him go. I gave him an option. I said, listen, Ryan, you need to come clean. Write me a statement of what you've done, so we're clear on what you've done, so we understand what you've done, where you're at. Return the $10,000 cash that he collected from a client, which I know he got $10,000 cash from a client in LA for a watch sale, and return the pieces that he has. He's got an $88,000 Opal watch that he's got that he was meant to sell, which he may have sold, which I have no way to know.
That watch is already sold, according to Ryan. Remember, I'm getting third-party evidence here, but Ryan has told one of your customers, who's one of my, I'm calling them victims, who's one of my victims, that he recently sold that watch. I didn't know it was worth that much money, but he did specifically say Opal watch to that person. So Ryan sold that watch.
That was last week. So he's sitting on $98,000 cash from the that's the company.
Just so you know, stolen goods don't sell on the dollar. He's probably selling it for pennies on the dollar, just so you know.
No, he had the deal lined up before. That deal was going to go through. Yeah, I knew about this deal before, and he was meeting the client. Client was traveling from France or somewhere, yeah. But you know, it's a client that he's been talking with for a long time.
But in my group, I have somebody who has given you $88,000 already for that watch. Would he not have been the one you would have given the watch to? Because believe it or not, he doesn't say anything. He's in my group, and he gave. He's alleged. I'm gonna have to say allegedly. Allegedly paid
we have watches that we're waiting to deliver. We're at Gridlock, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really sorry. I don't know much about you, and I'm probably making assumptions. I guess, have you been involved in your own business yourself?
My motives are purely because my subscriber reached out to me. I don't have any financial gain.
I'm just talking about your experience. Have you owned a business yourself?
Yes, I own several businesses.
Yeah, well then you know all too well what happens.
I never rob people to pay Paul. If I've got a guy and he's paid for an 88 grand watch, I give him that 88 grand watch. I don't sell it to somebody else.
This is not the details are getting mixed up here. That watch that Ryan has is not the watch for a client. The watch that Ryan has is a specific purple Opal watch. It's a rare one that wasn't.
It's just when you said you said 88 grand, and I've got a guy who says he paid you 88 grand.
These are different colors. Yeah. He's probably waiting on a white Enigma. Your client, your contact.
Maybe.
So you can verify that.
Maybe.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Ryan has a piece unique purple Enigma. It's not a catalog piece.
Allegedly, that's sold. Right
now we have an Opal for the clients. And this is where I'm leading to. This is the point that we're at, right? Because of the situation, because of the delays, because of the drop in revenue from sales, because of the tap's been leaking, and obviously we've missed out on a lot of revenue that we should have got. Right, our operation cost was high, and we were suddenly hit with everything all at once. Suppliers delayed us all at once. So we're talking about people waiting for their pieces. That delay happened. Then we had refunds. Cash reserves got up. I had to sell everything. I've sold every single one of my watches. So I don't even have an Aventi watch. I'm doing everything and fighting for this. So I understand when you rob Peter to pay Paul, right? But and that's a fundamental error in the business that we set up, right? So we're taking a deposit. We put an order into manufacture. Order is delayed. Refunds come in. We have to refund. Operating costs continue. Revenue drops.
Yeah,
Simple math.
Right? You're making me suck eggs here. My issue is I've got people that paid in 2023 and haven't received a watch. and I've got people who.
Do you want to hear what I've been told by suppliers? I'll give you one story.
No, I don't.
Right?
I don't
It's relevant.
because I once worked for a guy, and he was very clever. He said, "Don't give me problems, give me solutions." Right.
Okay.
My question is, how many watches are outstanding, and what are the chances of people who ask for a refund?
They're going to get it at the moment. If you'd like me to talk about solutions, we've got 2 investors at the moment that I'm discussing with to resolve the issue. One is essentially purchasing all the debt, and that will cover all the refunds and all of the deliveries that we need to make. The other one is going to help deliver all the pieces, and the debt will be covered a bit later through the profits of the business. And that's what I'm working on.
Well, that's what I want to hear.
I understand. Well, that's my communication to what you asked.
I have a few other questions, but I don't expect you to answer them. Right? So you've got a big fan in producer Michael, and you've got a big fan in Swiss Watch Gang, and you've got another big fan in Kevin O'Leary.
So I'll answer one. Kevin O'Leary, I'm just going to predict your questions. Kevin O'Leary is a true supporter and believer of the brand. Right?
Did he pay for that watch you gave him, or did you give it him on gratis?
Well, yes. It depends. It's one was a gift. Yeah, one was a gift because we wanted to give him something special. Even you could make a watch brand and give him something. It doesn't mean he's going to wear it. You know? So he loves the brand. He loves us, and I wanted to create something special for him.
So you did him the red watch for his Red TV show, yeah? That was a gift to him.
It's not his TV show, but yeah, a TV show that he was on.
Yeah.
He had a ruby watch, and that was something that I created for myself.
Yeah.
Right?
So okay. It's because
that's something that we're lucky that he even considered us. Right. It's one of those things. You could make a watch, and you could hand it to him. You can say it's worth however much, and if he doesn't like it, he won't wear it. Right.
I get that. So, but producer Michael introduced him to the brand. I remember that. So, producer Michael, how much is he getting paid to talk about Aventi? Because he did a video 11 months ago, and it's basically a pure selling video. And when you read I don't have a problem with this. My issue was with producer Michael was he didn't put the paid up, and if you read all the comments, he got destroyed in the comments, and then he after the fact put the paid up. I don't have a problem with him doing you an 11-minute advert, right? My issue was that he didn't put the paid up. And it's clearly a paid advert. I mean, was he getting a commission per sale on watches? Or was he just doing...
I'm not saying anything with regards to him because I can't speak in this way just because I don't want to cause any extra problems as it is.
What if I already knew that producer Michael got a monthly payout based on sales and that he was also owed money? What if I said that?
And you wouldn't be asking me that question, would you, if you knew that?
I don't know that, though. I don't know that. I said, what if I knew that?
You just said you knew. I don't know. I'm not here to cause more problems with other parties. I don't want to talk about other parties.
They're promoting people to buy your watches.
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about with the 11 people that you're upset about, right?
Okay, so I got one other request. I've got one other request as well. You have an ex-employee. She's saying she's owed back pay. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, there's a period of time where we're struggling with the running costs, right? So what we said to the team is that we'll get some help and we will pay back for the time that you're here. So there's people that are on the team, and by the way, they're all contractors and they're hired by another company, not directly through Aventi. So just to be very clear,
she said she's been with you for years. She's alleged to me that she's been with you for decades, over 10 years. She's been with you, so she's not she was never an employee directly of yours.
No, she was a subcontractor. Yeah.
Okay, so and how long did she work for you?
Can I answer your question, or do you want to keep talking over asking me more questions?
This is the last question I have. My memory is terrible. I got to tell you, old age sucks. Don't get old, right? I just need to get this one last question out, and then the floor is yours, right? She's saying that she worked for you for definitely more than 5 years, and she is saying that you will not provide her with a reference, even though you owe her money. And she is saying to me that she would just like a reference. And there's something she's obligated with you with that she can't afford to get out of. And this is just come from her. And my appeal to you as a human being is,
when was the last time you spoke to her? Because I cleared that up with her.
I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke to her today, and I've never spoken to her before till today, and she imparted to me those three things.
One, it's a miscommunication. You can get her to call me, and I'll give her a reference. It's not at all. That was not my intention. It's just a miscommunication.
Well, could you not just do the reference? I'm
happy to do a reference. Look, there's obviously been a miscommunication here, because that's terrible. I wouldn't not give her a reference. Ask her to call me right now or message me. I'm happy to do a reference. I even asked her that. Look, I'll tell you the honest truth about that, and this is where the miscommunication was, right? So, I've had in the past where the staff that I've trained, and I've worked very hard on teaching them and putting a lot of time and energy to go into it. And then business partners and other people that have kind of like, there was a business that I was involved with. I didn't have an official contract or agreement with, but we've been working for a few years together. It was an offshoring company. And this guy all of a sudden turned around and said, he doesn't want to, doesn't want me part of the business anymore because whatever, it wasn't making that much. It was turning over quite a lot of money. And then later on, I found out he bought a car through that company. Well, this guy actually went behind my back and took some of my stuff that I had earlier, that had left. And that for me was hurtful, and you're like, man, I thought you were friends. I put a lot of time and energy into these, these staff or whatever, these people that I was working with, right? And I had that feeling, and I said to her, oh, please don't do that, something like that to me, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe she didn't want me to go to that. And then later on, I cleared up with her that if she wants to work with people that I've worked with in the past, I said, okay. Then I said, okay. So I don't understand why she's said that to you today.
Okay.
That's odd. But she can message me right now. I'll be happy to write her a reference or anything like that.
So if you already have her information.
Here's one thing. Ryan promised her $5,000 last month.
Okay.
Right? He said, I'm going to get a loan and give you that money.
Right. He
sent her $2,500. Right. Now we all know where that money's coming from now. Right. Not loans. Okay. He said it was a loan. Stands to me, she's like, you told me you would pay this money to, back pay for this work. And I said, you can speak to Ryan because Ryan said that he would help. He's holding me to account to Ryan's promise of paying her. So that's why she's upset. I'm doing whatever I can. As I said, there's no income coming in from Aventi.
Yes.
And I've been, and what you heard from the other staff is true. I had a friend, Hamish. He was like one of my best mates in the company. He was, again, a contractor that worked for another company that worked for Aventi, right? And he basically, I put a lot of time, effort, and energy into, giving him ideas and what, his work. He was a concierge, he was copyright, he did a lot of different jobs, right?
Yeah.
And a very close friend, like, family friend and everything. So I'm struggling. I'm overseas, right? I don't live in Australia, and I'm in a position where obviously I can't. There's not a cent that I can take from Aventi. There's nothing in it, right? And that's where when you look at back pay for staff or whatever, or contractors. Well, if there's money, of course, we pay it back, right? And we have back pay when we delay wages. That's another point. Like, we do keep our promises when we can, right? Yeah. So obviously there's no income. So I'm doing my best to raise funds, right? So anyway, Hamish is owed by this third-party company money for the work that he did. And I arranged personally, I said, hey, look, I know you need to get some cash. I got some stuff at my house. Why don't you go, let's just get rid of all the stuff. By the way, all of that stuff was from my wealth that I've built over the years, not from Aventi money, right? Just to be really clear with you. That's at my parents' house. I visit Australia once a year for a couple of months, and that's it. So it's just stuff that was there. And he went over to my parents' house unsupervised, picked up all this stuff from my place. I asked him to catalogue it. He didn't. I asked, what did you take? He didn't reply to me. And we arranged to sell one of my possessions, which was quite expensive. And it was a very low offer. I said, look, okay, let's get some cash. I'll give you 2K from that. And then I'll keep 12, sorry. And then what ended up happening, the money came through apparently. And he gave me a call. He said, look, I'm not going to send you any of that money. I'm trying to help her, literally trying my best. And that money that I was meant to get from that sale from Hamish, part of that was going towards.
Well, originally,
and that's the irony. I'm honestly trying my hardest to keep everyone, above water and do the right thing, and then I just get, blindsided by this.
But originally,
now he's telling me about Ryan is just kidding me.
But originally, Hamish was supposed to. Now remember, everything I'm getting is third hand. Originally, Hamish was to go 50-50 with you on that stuff.
No, that's not correct. No. In some of the stuff, 50-50, like the cheaper items, but for the more expensive stuff, it was an agreed upon rate.
But how much money is Hamish owed? Because Hamish says he's owed money, and he's basically thinking, well, I'm just getting my money back. How much is he owed? How much is the company owe him?
Oh, it's not really relevant. It's not
relevant.
It's not as much as you. It's not nowhere near the amount of value that he took from my place. Nowhere near. Absolutely no. The police are now involved, and it's heading to a criminal matter.
It won't work. It won't work. It won't work because you gave him permission to take the goods. You haven't got a leg to stand on.
No.
Listen, mate. The Australian police, don't care. I'm telling you now, they don't care.
You can. Well, I have an email from the police.
Okay?
So.
Well, I was involved with another scheme where 21 people were robbed, and they gave their watches over on consignment in Australia. And in the end, the police told them to stop bugging us. Right? It's a civil matter. I assure you, they're going to do nothing for you on that. You're just wasting your time. Can I just say one other thing? I think Ryan believes he's Robin Hood, and he's robbing from you to give back to the poor. He thinks that you owe him $200,000 because that's what he's telling people, and that's why he stole all the stuff. Maybe he's just getting his money back because Hamish is. Why would Hamish do the same thing? And why would that lady say? So I got 3 people saying you owe them money, and they all don't have a problem taking money from you because they feel it's their money in the first place. So why would Ryan say that you owe him $200,000 in back pay?
Ryan didn't submit in. So just to be clear, Aventi uses another company to hire contractors, okay, legally.
Right.
So there's no staff. That's the first point. Right, contractors. Now, if you're a contractor, you need to submit an invoice. Okay?
Yeah.
Ryan didn't submit invoices. He was withholding invoices, and I've requested him multiple times to submit invoices, which he didn't.
Yeah.
He knows for some time that we were under some kind of pressure with delays and refunds, and we've just been navigating this situation.
So he's basically paid himself, hasn't he?
So he's just paid himself.
Yeah,
looks like it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm dealing with at the moment.
But
and
do you not,
at this stage, my attention is on solving it. Unfortunately, I've been painted as the bad guy in all of this, where I've done everything.
But you're the boss. The buck stops with you.
My ability.
The buck stops with you. You're the boss, right? You're the owner.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Hamish, you've alleged stole from you. You've got Ryan, you've alleged stole from you, and you can't even do a reference. You can't even do a reference for this girl without. Why can't you just write her a reference and send it to her? Why does she have to reach back out to you?
I did. I will. I get her to ask me. She never asked me. Ask her to ask me, and I'll do it. I don't understand. We've discussed this point. Why are you bringing it up again? We've gone through this.
Because you're blaming everybody else. You're not taking responsibility. You've got to take responsibility.
I clearly stated in this call that it is my responsibility, and I'm doing everything I can to fix it. First of all, when a contractor is owed money, right, we negotiate with them to pay them back. That's exactly what I did with Hamish.
But there's no money.
I negotiated with him,
but there's no money.
He decided to change the agreement. and take money. We've negotiated and we're renegotiating because there's simply no cash flow. If I'm sitting on a piles of cash and income, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But we're currently in a moment where we're raising funds. And now that I'm looking deeper, auditing everything, I can see that funds have been stolen from the company. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm taking responsibility. I'm doing everything I can to fix it.
But when you say the
And
stolen,
to get every refund done, every watch delivered, that's my focus.
when was the last time Ryan was paid? I haven't spoke to Ryan, by the way, right? And I am not happy with Ryan for what he did to that guy. I think what he did was just... And by the way, when I challenged a third party who told me what Ryan had said, Ryan said that he was under instructions from you to get as much money from the clients as possible. And he because I got a message to Ryan that I'm not happy with him, right? And I'm not happy about this rugby player. And he fed back that he got that money off that rugby player with zero intent on supplying the watch. So he took $9,000 with zero intent on supplying the watch under your direct instruction.
No. Is there anything else that you want to cover? Because in short, there are people that need to be refunded. They will be refunded.
But there's no money.
As soon as the company is funded.
Right? Who's going to fund you? Who's going to give you the money?
There are people that need to be delivered watches.
Who's going to give you the money?
Delivered watches.
Who's going to give you money? Who would give you money now? Everybody that works for you has robbed you. Everybody that's worked for you has stolen from you.
If you're conducting questions in an informative manner, right? I understand you're upset, right? But I'm here calmly answering questions.
There's no money there. There is no money left.
I'll answer this question again. You asked who will give me money, right? And I expressed in the earlier parts of this phone call that we have two parties, and I can't go into details of those because of the agreements that I've signed, that we are in discussion.
I hope they give you the money, but I genuinely think that you publicly releasing that statement today about Ryan, I don't think that was a wise decision.
First of all, it wasn't public. It was to all our clients.
You can't send that out. You can't send that out to people and not assume that it's not going to get out there.
You did. First of all, that was intended for clients, okay? Clients and customers only. I've got the list of who I sent it to. I did not send it to you, and you are the one who made it public. So don't talk to me about making it public because I did not do that. You did, okay? Second, as I said earlier...
Can I just say, in your first statement that you released a couple of weeks ago, right? You actually wrote yourself that this will be copy and pasted all over, and you even wrote that on there. And then this thing you released today is a rehash of that. Have you read that? It's just a rehash.
What you're talking about. What thing that I wrote 2 weeks ago? You
put out a statement, I think it's 4 weeks ago, right? And you said in that statement that I guarantee you this is going to be copy and pasted and displayed everywhere for everybody to see. That new statement you put out, that new private thing, is a rehash of that. You've just added a couple of things to it, and then you've added about Ryan. You've just added more stuff.
I don't understand what your point is. Yeah,
So of course it's going to be shared. It's not private. If you owe people money and watches, you can't put out a statement like that and blame somebody else and blame everybody. It's a blame game.
To client to warn them to cease communication with Ryan. It's my duty of care that someone in the position that Ryan's in is contacting clients. It's my responsibility to issue that warning in case he does commit more of these offences.
But have you not committed any offences?
Be careful not to talk to someone who's trading watches, who's the face of the company.
You're the face of the company.
No information.
You're the face of the company.
If it was public statement, I would post it on the Facebook group or on Instagram or on the website, would I not? This was a private email that was sent to customers only. But you're the one who made it public.
But you're the face of the company. You're the face of the company.
What? Okay, look, this conversation, I don't understand what, about I
want you to take ownership of your own problems, and you when are you going to put out a statement that Hamish robbed you? When is that one coming out?
It's irrelevant because the clients aren't affected. So the
Well,
clients can be affected by Ryan, but not Hamish, and that's
why
why I
not
kept it
Hamish?
private.
Why not Hamish?
Because he's not affecting customers or the public.
Well, what if he decides to? Because you're saying you owed him money, and in lieu of
Are you
payment,
listening to your question? I'm sorry. I'm struggling to understand you.
I'm struggling
because
too.
Ryan is a potential risk to existing customers, and it's my duty of care to notify existing customers that Ryan is no longer working with the company. You
Yeah.
can read the email. Nothing insinuating, just facts and a clear point to communicate with the existing clients. I did not make that public, and it was not a public statement.
Well, you
With
can't.
Hamish,
You
there's
can't.
no need to talk about it or bring it into the public light.
Why
Because it's a
not?
private matter.
Why not?
Because it's a private matter.
How is it private when you owe people all this money and you owe people all these watches? How is one thing private and one thing not?
First of all, I'm a representative of the company.
You're the owner.
The company is in a situation that there are contractors that were promised money that need to be resolved. Yeah, that situation is true. Ryan is a representative of the brand who is talking to customers and potentially selling and trading watches. You yourself just told me he sold a watch when he wasn't allowed to.
Allegedly.
So it's my duty of care to message all of the clients and all the customers to let them know.
But how has he got that
right?
stock? How are you not? Are you saying you were never in control of your own business? Is that what you're trying to say? Because
I don't understand what you're saying. What is your specific question?
My specific question is, how are you the sole owner of this business and you are now putting the blame completely on Ryan for all the failings?
I'm not putting any blame completely on Ryan. I'm merely updating the clients not to listen or talk to Ryan. That's all I've said. And I've discovered certain things that a member of a contractor who's worked for the company, who is known as a face of the company, has done in private behind the company's knowledge.
When was the last time you paid him, though? When was the last time he took a salary?
Why is that relevant to this discussion?
Because maybe he's got all this stuff and selling all this stuff because you owe him money. I'm just asking the question.
First of all, as I've said before, it's a contractor that's worked for another company that's worked for Aventi, right? And all of our invoices are paid with the ability of our cash flow. Now, when our cash flow was tied up, we communicated with those contractors to indicate that we will arrange, a payment for them. I have a record of everyone's amounts, and there's no need to go through those amounts because there's the intention to pay them.
Is there 147 people owed a watch at the moment, or is Ryan making that up? You've got these records.
I don't see why we need to continue with these questions, right?
That's fine.
Because I've answered
That's
all
fine.
the other questions.
But you've not answered that question. You haven't answered. You haven't
I
answered.
appreciate what you do, right? And what you can hear from me is essentially that I'm doing everything I can to sort this out. I'm not running away. I'm not hiding. I'm here in front of my computer dealing with this, right? Look, I know you want to talk about, don't give me problems, give me solutions. But aren't you curious as to why we're in this situation?
No, because I've got people that paid you 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And I feel personally that they were strung along, that they were a year into it told, listen, we're sorry we're late. Here's a grand off the watch. And they were also offered more watches during that time. And to me, it just seemed like a Ponzi scheme. So
did some of them have watches, you said, right?
Some of them, I'm not 100% sure. What I will say is that the ones that come to mind to me, I've got 3 that come to mind me now, and none of them have received a single watch, right? And they all paid you $15,000, and they all got offered $1,000 off. And 2 of them asked for a refund and got ghosted after 2 years. And one of them, who you know personally, right? He got the call, give me the rest of the money, and voila, here's your watch. And then he got ghosted. It seemed too similar to a Ponzi scheme. And one of the guys, Mr. C,
Well,
who I
just to
interviewed,
be clear,
said he got offered more watches
just to be clear,
because he bought a watch. It was so hilarious. He bought a watch off you, never received it, got told we are delayed, which is fine, then got told we're going to give you £1,000 off the purchase. I'm mixing up dollars and pounds, I do apologise. He got told he's going to get $1,000 off his purchase, so therefore he's only going to pay $24,000 in total. And in the interim, he got offered another watch, a more exclusive watch, because he's already part of the family. And luckily for him, he never put any more money into it. But I have another guy who he bought the Wraith, and then he didn't get his, but then he got access to another watch, and he gave you more money. And he has alleged that he is out $88,000, and he is one of the quietest members of my group because I think he's just superly embarrassed about it. So that's why I called it a Ponzi scheme, because there was no watches. We're 2 years on now. We're over 2 years on, and there's no watches. And I'm very black and white on this. I'm very black and white.
The 2 years on situation happened from a major fault of our Swiss supplier. Yeah. What happened was that after waiting for delivered parts that were delayed, parts that we'd received that weren't functioning to the standard, parts that were received were broken on arrival, we had to re-engineer a new movement, reverse engineer the movement and find a new partner to work with. Now, if you know anything about watchmaking, to develop a tourbillon and to reverse engineer a tourbillon is over a year's work. Right, that's the first issue, and it cost a lot of money. Yeah. So a lot of money went into that redevelopment of that movement from that initial delay. So you can imagine this first partner. You look them up. I'll be happy to share the name with you.
No, you're okay. But
maybe I'll text you later because as I said earlier, I don't want to talk about anything else.
Yeah.
But this is the point where I'll give you an example. There's a member on our team, Franz. You can talk to him. Talk to Franz, right? He's a good guy. I
just want my group to get cashed out.
Let me finish the story because it's still relevant to you. You can't just focus on the negative. You can also look at the positive and look at the facts.
There's no watches
rather than one side. Right?
There's no watches.
Because there's no intention whatsoever in my body, in my soul, in my mind to screw people or
who told Ryan to get that final payment off that rugby player then? If there was no intention to fraud the customer, who told Ryan? Hey Ryan, ring that guy and get $9,000 off him.
When we're collecting balances and when we're delivering watches and all that, we go by the information that we're given, right? So we've been told certain things from suppliers and factories that will be delivered and delivered dates, right? Yeah. Sometimes, and this is what happened with us, is that we get a delay. And the date would change, then we get another date, and then it would change, the date changed, and it was just going on and on and on.
It's Ryan here. This is how it was relayed to me. Hello, it's Ryan here. Hiya, it's Ryan here. Your watch is ready. Just pay the balance. It's as simple as that. You're giving me a totally different story, right? This is fraud. This is fraud.
You should not have been doing that, and I need more information. So if you can text me the names and the details,
you don't know this.
I can check the records.
You don't know this rugby player. You don't know this rugby player.
You know, in a more clean and straightforward way.
Listen, I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt, mate. What you've done, what you've done to people, families, to men who work for a living. If you get this finance, if you get this bloody money, give these people back their money.
What do you think? This is exactly what I'm fighting for. I'm doing everything I can, and part of me also with sending the emails to the clients is to protect our reputation. Because I don't know what else Ryan has been telling, and I'm not trying to throw him on the bus.
Ryan wants to talk to me, right? Ryan wants to tell his side of the story.
He's a talker than me, and you'll leave the phone call feeling friends with him.
I won't.
But I'm a no bullshit straight guy. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm not
you get a 10 out of 10 for talking to me, because I wouldn't talk to me. You get a 10 out of 10 for talking to me. I really appreciate you talking to me. But I am so focused on getting my guys' money back, and There's nothing else I want to know about. If you were to reach out to me in 2 weeks and say, Brenny,
no, I'm happy to keep you updated.
give me
with
the
how
list of
things
your
go.
guys. Give me the list of your 11 guys, and by Friday they'll all have the money. I will take everything down, and I will move on with my life.
If you look at where I am, what I've got, my life before Aventi versus now, I've literally not got a watch. I had to sell my laptop to afford a flight.
So how are you going to get an investor? How are you going to get an investor then? You've got nothing. What have you got? Plans? You've just got you've literally got nothing, right?
How else do you get an investor?
Well,
you don't get it with your personal assets. Are you suggesting that if I have assets, I would be able to get an investor?
No, what I'm suggesting is you would have watches, you would have orders, you would have cash flow. Who the hell's going to invest?
You want to hear an email I got about 1 hour ago?
No. I wish you luck. I wish you luck. All I want to hear is, Brenny, give me the list of the 11 guys that I owe money to.
And then you're not listening to my solution.
No, because you're just waffling. You're waffling.
How are you going to pay them back?
When are you going to pay them back?
We're getting investors. How are you going to get investors if you've got nothing? Well, that's what our value is in our business. And I'm about to read you an email to justify the value in the brand and the identity and the interest that we have. We have one guy, and I'll tell you this. And look, I hope you keep this to yourself.
I can't keep this to myself. Why am I supposed to keep this to myself?
I can tell you something. If you're willing to give me your word,
I don't want to know.
Sorry?
There is nothing you're telling me that I won't share, so don't tell me. Don't tell me anything you don't want to share, right? Because I have you own a company. You own a company that owes thousands, tens of thousands of pounds. By my reckoning, millions of pounds. Right? You've got no watches. You've got no stock. And you've got nothing. You haven't even got a laptop anymore. Who the hell's going to give you any money?
Why would they look at the person who's giving up everything to fight for it? Wouldn't you bet on the person that's risking everything for it?
You have no business sense. You have no business sense. You have no business sense. You've run your business into the ground. Who's going to give you any money? You've no business sense. You don't know profit and loss.
Are you insulting me? I have not insulted you once.
You don't. I'm trying to help you. You're down to nothing. You've just told me you don't even have a laptop.
Well, I'll tell you what I wasn't going to look. It's very hard because I want to tell you something, but because I signed the agreement.
Then don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Sorry.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Look, do you know what I do like about you? You're straight. And if I ask you something, you tell me. And if I ask you something else, you're also not going to be sneaky. Do you know how many people I've dealt with who've been sneaking behind my back, ulterior motives, even through this investment process? I'll tell you something. Ryan had a side deal with one of the investors that he was lining up for a long time.
Okay.
And he told another investor he had a side deal with him. It's like things like this are blowing my mind because I can't believe that he would do such a thing.
If you don't get this investor, it doesn't matter. Call it a day and start again. Start selling something different, right? And move on from this. But what you're doing is you're dragging it all out. You're just making it 10 times worse.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for you to say that because this is the hardest time of my life, you know. Yeah. And I all don't like every positive intention. Like we did good, you know, and then I. This is what I was. I can say it in a way that
don't say
I'm not going to get into shit.
Don't because this is not a private conversation. This conversation, right, is not private, right? And I am not trying to tell you okay. So remember, I'm telling you now, I've been financially down to nothing twice in my life. Financially down to zero, right? And I even had to learn a new trade at the age of 30, right? I had to start again. I'm trying to tell you that my father had failed business after failed business after failed, but he was too high and mighty, Hannu, to come down to do a fucking day's work. So he decided at 47, he's going to gas himself in his car, right? And you're sounding, I mean, he had nothing left. He was literally selling everything, yeah? And you know, so what I'm trying to say to you is, that even though it's whatever's happened, if this investor doesn't invest, then call it a day, do whatever you need to do, and then look at selling the Now, Kevin O'Leary, if you know him that well, he will buy it for pennies on the dollar. He might, but it would have to be all done later on, just to protect you. But I'm just trying to say to you that everything you're telling me is coulda, woulda, shoulda. When literally, if this investor doesn't invest, you're gone. You're gone, right?
Yeah, they are.
And if everybody got their refunds back, right? All my videos, I'll wipe them in 3 seconds because I'm not out to get anybody apart from get my subscriber initially his money back, and that was my only motive. Does that make sense? So, and I don't even get paid for any of this shit either. So the money you make on YouTube is fuck all. It's not even worth it. It's a hobby, you know. So.
It'll grow, man.
Okay, man. All right, you take care, yeah?
Yeah, I appreciate this. And I agree with you. I'm going to do what I can. So,
yeah.
I'm going to fight as much as I can. So, and then we'll see.
Yeah, okay. Take care.
All right. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.